Welcome to I Tell Story Channel. Tonight, let's dive deep into a story that just might keep you awake until morning. The Chalice of Damnation. I am no stranger to the shadows cast by the Vatican's towering spires. As a historian granted rare access to the secret archive, I've spent years unearthing truths that would make the devout tremble. The Church's influence stretches across centuries, its tendrils woven into the fabric of global power. Most know this, or at least suspect it. History books brim with tales of crusades, indulgences, and inquisitions. But what remains hidden, what I've seen in those dust-choked vaults, is the Vatican's unholy pact with forces beyond mortal comprehension. They don't merely combat the occult, they wield it, summoning horrors to serve their ends. Among the countless documents I've studied, one has haunted me above all others. Written in 1502 by Father Maximus Vasquez, a feared inquisitor during the Spanish Inquisition, it recounts an encounter that defies reason. I've transcribed it and expanded it here, piecing together fragments of his account and others from that era to share a story that has clawed at my mind since I first read it. This is no mere historical record. It's a warning, one I can't shake, no matter how many nights I lie awake, staring into the darkness. Barcelona, 1502. The city reeked of fear. The Inquisition's grip was ironclad, and Father Maximus Vasquez was its most ruthless enforcer. His name alone sent shudders through the streets. Muslims and Jews, branded heretics, faced his wrath in a windowless chamber beneath the cathedral. His tools, pincers, racks, branding irons were infamous. But his true genius lay in breaking souls, not just bodies. Confessions poured from his victims like blood from a wound. But one. Her name was Talia, a Jewish woman whose defiance baffled even Vasquez. For 2 weeks, he subjected her to torment that would have shattered anyone. Pincers tore at her flesh, the strappado wrenched her limbs, yet she never screamed, never spoke. Her silence was a wall he couldn't breach, her dark eyes burning with something he couldn't name. To a lesser priest, her endurance might have seemed divine. To Vasquez, it was an insult, a challenge to his authority, to God's will. On the 15th day, he decided to unleash his darkest weapon, the artifact. He hadn't touched it in years. Its very existence was a secret even among the Inquisition's elite. A pagan chalice, etched with symbols no Christian tongue could pronounce, it was said to hold a fragment of hell itself. Those who drank from it saw visions, terrifying glimpses of damnation that drove them to madness or death. Vasquez reserved it for the most stubborn heretics, relishing their descent into despair. Talia, he believed, would be no different. He wrote of his anticipation that night, his quills scratching feverishly in the candlelight. He noted, "Tomorrow I will savor her unraveling. Her faith will crumble, and I will watch." His words brimmed with confidence. But beneath them, I sensed a flicker of unease. Talia's silence had unnerved him more than he admitted. The next morning, before dawn, Vasquez descended into his chamber. Talia hung in her chains, her body a map of burns and gashes. Yet her face, even in sleep, was serene. That calm infuriated him. He approached on silent feet, the chalice cold in his hands. Its weight seemed to pulse, as if alive. He tilted it to her lips, waking her with a splash of frigid liquid. "Spill a drop," he hissed, "and I'll shatter your legs." Her eyes snapped open, locking onto his. She didn't flinch as the icy water slid down her throat, her chains rattling as she swallowed every drop. Vasquez stepped back, expecting the usual reaction: screams, convulsions, or vacant stares as the visions took hold. But Talia grew still, her head tilted, hair falling over her face like a veil. A stench, foul and unnatural, filled the room. Rotting flesh mingled with something older, deeper. Had it been there before? Vasquez gagged, his confidence wavering. Then she moved. Talia surged to her feet, faster than her weakened state should have allowed. Her eyes, now blood red, bored into his. For a moment, time seemed to stop. Vasquez, the unyielding inquisitor, felt his heart lurch. Then she laughed, a sound so piercing it seemed to claw at the walls. It wasn't human. It was a child's shriek, a demon's howl, echoing impossibly loud in the stone chamber. His skin crawled. Every instinct screamed at him to flee, but his feet were rooted. "Enough!" he shouted, stepping toward her, but his arm froze mid-air, as if seized by an invisible force. Pain bloomed in his muscles, bruises forming under unseen fingers. Talia's lips curled into a smile, her voice dropping to a guttural rasp that seemed to come from everywhere. "Your taunts amuse me, as do your visions." Vasquez's chest tightened. Fear, a sensation he'd inflicted but never felt, gripped him. "What are you doing to me?" he stammered. She ignored him. "5 years I've prepared for this. Your crimes against my people span decades. This is your punishment." Her hands shot out, closing around his throat. Her touch burned like ice, and darkness swallowed his vision. When his sight returned, he stood at the edge of a boiling yellow lake, its fumes choking him. A black castle loomed in the distance, its spires piercing a sky of ash. He tried to run, but his feet betrayed him, dragging him towards a crumbling bridge. Talia's laughter thundered through the void, relentless, inescapable. He stumbled across the bridge, the lake's heat searing his skin. The castle's gates yawned open, and inside shapes moved, writhing, faceless things that whispered his name. "Maximus," they hissed as their voices a chorus of agony. "You called us, now we claim you." He screamed, but no sound came. The chalice's visions had never been like this. They were illusions, meant to terrify, not consume. Yet this felt real, too real. Hours passed, or perhaps years. Time meant nothing in that place. The creatures tore at him, not with claws, but with memories. Every heretic he'd burned, every scream he'd savored, Talia's voice wove through it all. "You thought you controlled the artifact, but it was never yours. It chose me." When Vasquez awoke, he was back in his chamber, sprawled on the floor. Talia was gone. Her chains hung empty, the chalice overturned beside them. The room was silent, but the air felt heavy, as if something lingered. His hands shook as he wrote his final entry, his words frantic. "What have I unleashed?" he scrawled. "The artifact is no tool of God. It is a gate, and she opened it." No record of Talia exists after that day. Vasquez vanished soon after, his chamber sealed by order of the church. The artifact was never mentioned again in official documents, but whispers persisted among the clergy, tales of a chalice that could summon hell itself. Some said Talia was no heretic, but a guardian, chosen to wield the artifact's true power. Others believed she was something older, something that had waited centuries for a man like Vasquez to overstep his bounds. I've spent months cross-referencing this account with other texts in the archive. Scattered references to the artifact appear in earlier records, a chalice unearthed in a forgotten temple, its origins predating Christianity. Its symbols match no known language, and those who studied it often met grim fates, madness, disappearance, or worse. The Church claims to have destroyed it, but I doubt it. The Vatican doesn't destroy what it can control. Somewhere, in a vault deeper than the one I've seen, it waits. The document's final line haunts me most. She opened it. Not just the chalice, but something else. A door to a place we're not meant to see. I've dreamt of that yellow lake, its fumes curling around me. I've heard laughter in the dark, high and sharp like a child's. I tell myself it's exhaustion, that the archive's weight is breaking me. But I've started noticing things. Shadows that linger
too long. A chill in rooms that shouldn't be called. Last week, I found scratches on my desk. Deep, uneven, like fingernails dragged across wood. I live alone. I've stopped sleeping. The laughter grows louder each night. I've requested the Vatican seal my access to the archive, but they haven't responded. Maybe they know what I've uncovered. Maybe they're watching. I don't know if Talia was human or something else, but I feel her presence, as if she's waiting for me to make the same mistake Vasquez did. The artifact's power isn't gone. It's patient. If you're reading this, heed my warning. The Church's secrets are not just scandals or conspiracies. They're alive, and they hunger. I don't know how much time I have left, but I pray it's enough to bury this truth where no one else will find it. Because if that gate opens again, there'll be no closing it.